Let me put my grooming smock back on. PJ said we're professional now. There we go. Alrighty. There we go. Now I got my grooming smock back on. All right. Holy cow. I'm professional AF. Okay. Anyways. So I literally, that's not a good word to use because I have a Toastmasters club that I go to, and one of the members, Merity, she's very um, she's very formal in the way she speaks, and she makes a great grammarian, but she likes to point out that we literally use the word literally incorrectly and overuse the word literally. So anyways, I actually just finished washing and drying him, and now haven't even put the comb through him yet. I just wanted to go ahead and get everything set up with the camera and everything so I can go ahead and start the groom. Because, time-wise, I also have his brother, his little sister to groom today. So I don't want to get too behind schedule, end up staying here too late. Because for real, I'll make a bed, you know what I'm saying? I'll just make a bed on their couch and I'll sleep over. So I'm pretty sure that will make things awkward. So let me go ahead and... Shauna, yeah, Mr. Lives, how are you? Doing good. So I usually don't really do the lives because time and also, some people just are uncomfortable and I understand, But with his owners, these are, man, they actually consider me a friend. I'm like, wow, are we really friends? Like, we're not clients anymore? And his owner, she was like, I think it's time. I've been grooming them for a few years now. Anyway, well, I've been coming here a few years. Anyways, so that's why I decided to stream earlier, just to show the prep work and getting all of this dead hair out, right, that I'm still combing out, and why that's so important. You see, I'm still getting some out. If I didn't do all the combing beforehand, there's no way he would look this nice after the washing and drying. So I'm just fluffing his head up a little bit, just to kind of train that hair to stand up, training the hair, reinforcing it, especially as it dries, fully. I want it to stand up so that I can shape it into that nice round snowball. But before I do any of that, I'm gonna have to do the clipper work, set the wing. So that's what I'm gonna do. There we go. Good boy. Oh, you're such a good boy, PJ. Okay, isn't he the cutest? He's so cute. Okay. I don't know why I want to bite them. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like I even ask myself, am I psychotic? When I see a cute dog, why do I want to squeeze them and bite them? I'm like, what? Anyways. Yeah, oh my god, he's just so cute. I just want to bite him. Okay, as long as he doesn't bite me back. We have a safe word, don't worry. We have a safe word. Oh, what a cute puffball. Yeah, chicken's rehoming a problem dog this weekend. Gonna groom him real well before, nice. Mainly brush it, awesome. They say that a well-groomed dog, when they're nice and clean, it increases their chances of getting adopted by 60%. And I was like, that is a huge number. I don't know where they got that statistic, but if it's true that it increases their chances of getting adopted by 60%, that's a huge amount. That means that a dog that has only a 30% chance of getting rehomed, which means odds are the dog probably won't get a new home at 30% chance. Once you groom them and they look nice and clean, you've increased their chance of getting adopted to 90%, right? Almost guarantees that they're gonna get adopted. So yeah, that's how important grooming is. It's the aesthetics, When it's first impressions matter. When people see the dog for the first time, especially the eyes. You want to be able to see the eyes because that's what makes the dogs look friendly. Okay, so now that I got his head combed out and it's, kind of set here, and I'm not even going to clipper the head. I'm going to use scissors to shape the head. I'm gonna be using the clippers for his body to get the shape ripped down. Let's see here. Wow. Adele says you're me. Thank you. Shauna, wow, $5. Oh my goodness. I'm gonna buy a lottery ticket on the way home. $5 lottery ticket. Anyways, wow, thank you so much, Shauna. Alrighty. I'm gonna check those books on Amazon. Oh, awesome. thanks for the little plug there, chickens. Don't surf. Okay, Mara says, greets from Germany. What's up from Germany? I have them both. Wow, thank you guys. They're lies. They're all, trust me, I've read my books. They're not that great. I'm like, oh my goodness. You know, I even thought about rewriting it and putting out like a new revised version, not such an idiotic one. And you know, I was thinking I'm just not gonna change it because I don't know what people see in my books, but obviously, you know, it resonates. So I'm just not gonna change it. Just leave it as is. The aren't lies are. Thank you. Okay. So. Alrighty, so what I'm gonna do is start off with the shortest length first. So I'm gonna actually do most of his body with this length, which is 5/8 of an inch, almost an inch. This is a 1/2 inch, right? So the difference in millimeters, this is 13 millimeters and this is 16 millimeters, only 3 millimeters off, see? But it's still enough of a difference where aesthetically, when you look at the dog, these angles are gonna matter. So, I'm gonna set this aside for now. The shortest length, I'm gonna start right here under the neck, under the chin, I mean, you know, the bottom part of the head, and just scoop out the neck. With the one comb. That way we get that neck nice and short and it pops out. Right there. See that? Just the neck. And that's going to help with the collar as well. Then I'm going to have him stand up here. Thank you, PJ. And I'm going to do the rear end. So let me move this here. Okay. So now the rear end, I'm just going to do like under the tail. I'm not going to go like here on the sides or anything. That I'm gonna do with the O-cone, just so you can see what I'm actually doing. Sorry. Oh no. Okay. Alrighty. My production team, you know, is on break, right? Because Corona, the pandemic. So I usually would have like a full professional production team with me, camera, lighting, all that. But you know. It's the pandemic. Anyways, so right here, I'm just gonna go up on the tail at the base, right there. And this is just to keep this area clean and tight, right? So I'm gonna go down like that, go down the other side. Like that. Alrighty, so now we have this area nice and tight and clean. See, so if you look at it from this angle, you can't really tell, right? I can still curve it, make it nice and round. You know, that nice round rump. But when you look here, right? Let me turn him a little bit. When you look here, now you can see that it's nice and tight and clean right there. All right, so you can do that even. See that? So now it's nice and short and tight right here, right? So now, there we go. Okay, so now I'm gonna do the rest of his body. So I'm gonna change the length to the 16 millimeter. The longer one, and I'm using a 30 blade underneath it, the 0.5 millimeter blade. Okay, so You can comb up, but I used to do this. I used to do like a full, but I realized I'm actually gonna go back over it, comb it up anyways. So just to save time, I just like to go into it now. So where I'm gonna start is right here at the shoulder blade. So that way I have all of this, right, to work with, to scissor. It won't look like he, has like a cotton ball, like a Q-tip head, right? By taking all this out, it won't look weird. So we're gonna leave all of this, right? So we're gonna start right here at the shoulder blade. I'm gonna angle it in to the chest. Alright. See if I'm gonna save all of that. I'm not touching that crest at the back of the neck. Okay, and I'm just gonna see, I'm skimming off. Alright, just fading away. Oh my goodness, are you guys old enough to know Faded, that song Faded by Alan Walker? Anyways, I don't know why that song popped in my head when I said faded. Faded away. Anyways, so I will literally bust out in songs sometimes, mid-conversation, and it doesn't even have anything to do with the conversation. It's just a word or something that somebody might say, and that word will trigger a song in my head, and I'll literally bust out and just sing it. And everybody is all of a sudden uncomfortable, right? And just like, you alright, man? I'm like, of course I'm alright, I'm singing, what's wrong with you? Anyways, yes, I don't know. I guess that's what happens when you're a loner as a kid. You just develop these weird habits, and then you go out into the world, and people start pointing them out, like, that's pretty weird. Like, oh, really? I didn't know that. You mean life is not like a Broadway show? We're not supposed to live our lives like musicals? Oh, I didn't know that, because, seemed to work out well for Aladdin, right? On his date. Anyways, now I'm just talking. So, see that? I'm just going down, right? I'm just setting that length, following the angles. On the bottom here, I do go reverse to get it nice and tight. Sometimes I do like that right there, but you want to keep that leg full so you can scissor it. You have something to work with. There we go. And then now, see that? So even though we went really short here on the right under the tail, it blends in nicely. See, it blends in really nice. And it's only 3 millimeters difference. So with the naked eye, no one's gonna be able to tell, right? If my clients ever pointed at this back area and said, wait a minute, that's 13 millimeters and that's 16 millimeters. Wait a minute, I'd be like, oh. I'd say, excuse me? Shit. Anyways, I would be like, are you a cyborg or something? Like, how would you even know? But yeah, I mean, I would find that fascinating though. I don't even think I would feel offended or anything if somebody did say that. Wait a minute, this is 13 millimeters and that's 16 millimeters. What? I probably would die laughing and just be like, are you serious? How did you know? Anyways. Okay. So, remember I told you that I'm going to comb it up and go back over it anyways, so it's kind of wasting time to do it before I start clipping. That's what I'm talking about. So since I went through it once, I'm going to go through and comb everything up, right? And then sometimes he likes to sit down, right? So I like to have my hand right here, just to encourage him. See, he likes to sit down every chance he gets. So, and he can, it's fine. It just helps if he does stand. So comb all the hair up. There we go. There we go. And then you just want to wiggle. You just want to wiggle that little finger like that. You just want to tickle. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. They don't pay me enough for that. Anyways, so now that I combed everything back up, I'm just gonna go through, smooth out all those uneven tips. There we go. And no matter how smooth we get it with the clippers, nothing is gonna beat the quality finish of good scissor work. So I have to remind myself sometimes when I see these little lines and everything, like, just keep moving, because I am gonna go through with scissors and smooth smooth it all out, even everything up. And really there's no substitute for good scissor work. You can never get the same quality finish with clippers, no matter how good your clipper work is. So there we go. I do still see some lines. I have to remind myself I am gonna go back over it with scissors. So I need to tell my OCD self, go and have a seat, man. Go and take a seat, bro, before you hurt somebody. Or I end up hurting. Well, I'm talking to myself though, my OCD self. So it's okay if I do self-harm, Anyways, no, that's not okay either. I shouldn't even joke about that. All right, so now I'm gonna do this side. So this is a good time to fix the front, because I was facing the back and I didn't want to stand in front of the camera. Porn angles. Anyways, so this is a good time to just kind of go through, double check that front area here. There you go. All right, so now that side is fixed, or smoothed out. So now we're gonna go through this side. And again, my temptation is to go through and comb everything up, because I am OCD. But usually groomers tend to be kind of perfectionists, OCD, usually awkward with people, which is why we get along. Anyways, but yeah, I just have to remind myself, I am gonna comb back through it. Oh, hold on 1 second. No, that's not it. Okay. Alright, let's just pull the whole thing out. There we go. Oh no, my camera's about to fall over. Okay. Sorry. Oh my goodness, there we go. Alrighty. My producer's gonna hear about this. Shoot. Anyway, I have no producer. Anyways, so here we go. Oh, you know what? I forgot to do that to the other side. It's about balance and symmetry, and just like a math equation, what you do to one side, you have to do the other side, to balance it out. It's all about balance and symmetry. There we go. So there is one downside to not combing first, is you sometimes catch these little knots. But usually, up to this point, because I did comb before the bath, after the bath I did, during the bath even, got a lot of dead hair out. While we dried him, got a lot of extra, that dull dead hair out. So by this time, when you start doing the clipper work, usually, even if you get these little pin mats in the coat, usually it's not going to affect too much the clipper work, It's only going to affect it if you didn't do any prep work on the coat. If you didn't do the pre-bath combing or brushing, if you didn't do any of that, then when it comes time to the clipping, you're going to start running into problems. It's going to start catching and all that. But as long as you did a good prep work, and that's why I say grooming is such honest work. You either did or you didn't. If you did, great, you know, because you put in the time and the effort, and now you're getting a nice quality cut. If you didn't, there's no way to lie about it or fake it, you know, and say that you did, because when you start going to clip the hair, you're going to start running into a lot of mats, tangles, snags. You know, it's going to snag the clippers, and you're going to start making dents in the coat, divots, right? And so that's the importance of doing the prep, and not just checking it off a list, but actually doing it. You know, actually getting in there and getting that hair out, the dead, dull hair, especially during the change of the seasons, now that we're coming into fall. And it has nothing to do with the weather change. Their skin gets its cues from the sunlight. We call it photoperiods. So it's the intensity and the duration of the sunlight. So when that changes, their skin gets that signal from the change in sunlight, and it triggers a response, and they actually start to get rid of some of their older hair. A lot of it is their secondary hair. It would be undercoat for the double-coated dogs, but since they have actual long hair, they also have undercoat, but it's more like the primary hairs, and they have a long life cycle. They grow out. So a lot of times with these long-haired dogs, it's kind of hard to tell which one's this primary hair, which one's the secondary hair. But they have much more secondary hairs than primary hairs. And especially because they're white, you can't even tell from the color difference. So you just have to go through and comb it out. The comb is not gonna lie, you know? And then as long as you really did go through and comb the coat well, the clipper work should be pretty easy. See that? Even though you do catch a little bit, you should be able to go right through it. There we go. Okay, so now I'm going to comb up and smooth everything out, and then we're going to do the legs. The legs, I'm going to do a longer length, obviously, than the body. I like to go up 2 sizes, sometimes even more, just depending on the look that I'm trying to get, and also the size and shape of the dog. So, I'll start up the front here. There we go. Nice. Okay, I'm just gonna leave that because I can always hit that with the scissors. I'm trying to catch it just right with the clippers, and it's not really. But yeah, having confidence in your scissor skills is going to drastically change your grooming game, you know, because a lot of times you'll have these areas that are kind of hard to get to, especially if the dog's not really cooperating that well, and then you can just tell yourself, well, I'll just hit it with the scissors, you know. There we go. And not feeling anxiety about, you know, scissoring his head nice and round, you know. Like, I used to feel a lot of anxiety about it. So, like, even just everything leading up to that part where I'm going to scissor the head, it would just make me feel so nervous, you know? Because I wasn't that confident. I was still learning. And I'm still learning. I wouldn't say that I've mastered it. I'm still learning. But at least I know now that, you know, that I'm not going to lose the arrows. You know what I'm saying? I put in the time and practice, and it may not be a bullseye every time, but at least I know I can get pretty close to the target every time, right? And so you start to build up that confidence, just like in archery. You start to build up that confidence the more you practice, the more you do it. Okay. And that's the same thing with your scissor skills. All right, so now I'm going to do the legs with, what is this, 22 millimeters or 7/8 of an inch. So much longer. So it's about 2 sizes above this one, because the next comb that I have is an A comb, and then this would be a C comb. So I'm going to be using this one here for the legs. All right, you're doing so good, PJ. All right, so now with the legs, the front of the back leg, the back of the front legs, right? You want to go with the grain. I'll show you here, because you want the back of his front leg to be longer than the hair that's on the front of his legs, right? And I'll explain why when we get to the back of the legs. So here, the back of his front leg, I'm going to go forward, right, with the grain. Now, as I move to the front, I'm going to go against the grain to get a shorter cut. Okay. Go back down, do it. And then here on the inside of the leg even, I'm going to go against the grain so it's nice and close and tight inside the leg as well. So here on the back of the leg is the only place I'm going to go forward, right? There we go. That way this front of the front leg is going to be short compared to the back of the front leg, right? And that's important because remember I told you it's about balance and symmetry? We want the dog to look balanced and symmetrical. So when I do the back leg here, it's going to make sense why we did the front leg like that. So now I'm going to have the back leg here. So now on the back side of the back leg, I'm going to go against the grain to make it nice and tight and clean back here. Okay, I'm going to lift the leg up, the other side, so I can get to this side, and go reverse on the back of the leg. And you can also go down as well to smooth it out and then go back up. So the back of the leg here is nice and short now, relatively, compared to the front. Right, so it's nice and short back here compared to front here. And the front of the back leg, I'm going to go with the grain to make the front of the back leg a little bit longer than the back of the front, than the back side of the back leg. There we go. There we go. And then you could even stand him up. The inside of the legs, I do like to go back through reverse. Get it nice and short. Right, to keep it nice and clean in there. But then the front of the leg, I'm going to go forward, like that, with the grain. There we go. So now what that does is when I stand him up, what that does is it makes him look nice and compact and balanced, right? So he doesn't stack well, but check that out. So see that? Look at that. Get this out the way. So it's nice and tight here, right? But longer here. So then when you see this back leg and it's nice and tight back here and it's longer here, right? So the two sides here are longer, the two sides here are shorter, and now you have a nice balanced look. Look at that, see? Isn't that nice? So it's about symmetry, balance. You want a balanced looking dog, and you want to make it symmetrical. One side mirrors the other. Same thing on the other side here. So the inside and the front, I'm going to go reverse and take as short as I can with this comb guard length, you know. we go. And then the back of the leg with the grain. There we go. Okay. And on this side here, no, sorry, can't even see what I'm doing. And sorry, I do see some comments coming in, but you know, for time purposes, because I do have his brother and sister to do next, so I don't want to take too much time. Here we go. Read it. I don't care about that stuff. Don't even bother watching. That's good. I don't even care. That's good. Oh man. There we go. Oh. Caught a snag here. Okay, so that's a pretty big snag that I can't really go through. So I'm gonna go through and just break it up a little bit with my comb here. There we go. Alrighty. Oh yeah, that was a big one. Okay. There we go. Ready. Oh, hold on. Still can't see what's going on. There we go. Alrighty. There we go, so reverse on the back end. And then we're gonna go forward on the front here. There we go. And then you can even lift him up to do the inside area there. All right, now we're ready for the scissor work. And the thing is, if you do follow my process, I do the prep work. You know, I comb out everything, and then I do the nails. I file them after the bath. You know, I brush their teeth during the bath, clean their ears. So by the time I'm doing the haircut, all of that is done. So now really I just have to do the haircut and finish up. And so if I want to put it simply, my main goal is to give him a nice haircut. That's my main goal. But in order to achieve that goal, there are some steps that I need to follow, right? I have to give him a bath if I want to get him ready for a haircut. But then I can't just wash him, right? I have to actually prep the coat and comb them all out. That takes time. So I'm only combing him out because I want to give him a nice bath. I'm only giving him a nice bath because I want to give him a nice haircut. And I only want to give him a nice haircut so that the haircut will actually last, and it's an investment in my own future. My clients keep calling me back, right? Because they like the quality, they like the way I work. So, you know, so I guess if you really want to simplify it, my main goal is to make some money. You know what I'm saying? I mean, as bad as that sounds, right? My main goal is to provide for my family, right? I need to take care of my kids, and child support comes every. No, I was kidding. Little tip: try not to get a divorce. Anyways, but yeah, my main goal, if you really want to put it simply, is to earn a living, right? Sustain myself. So then I have to produce a product that's valuable to people that they would actually want to pay for, and continue, you know, repeat business, right? That's what I really want. So then I have to give them a nice haircut. Okay, well, if I want to give them a nice haircut, I have to give them a nice bath. If I want to give them a good proper bath, then I have to actually comb him out and get all the tangles and all the dead hair out, you know? So it's like steps, right? And each step prepares you for the next step. And I wouldn't even be here at this point where I could give him a nice, really nice round haircut if I didn't take all those previous steps up to here. Okay, so hopefully that's enough preaching. She says, oh, someone says, oh, sorry about your divorce. Yeah, well, you know, it's good now though. I think the divorce was good for us, you know, right, PJ? Right? Because now I get to make out with you, and I don't have to even feel bad. I don't have to feel guilty, right? That's good. Okay, so first things first, I want to work on the head. So I'm gonna go ahead and comb out right here in front of his eyes. Maybe. Okay. There we go. Alrighty. So comb out here in front of his eyes. And I'm only gonna trim right here in front of his eyes. See that? I'm not gonna go, oh good, that's good. I'm not gonna go further than this. I'm not gonna go here where the bridge of the nose is. I'm gonna use all of this hair here to shape his visor. So I'm just doing the hair in front of the eyes so we can see his eyes. Right there. I'm not gonna go any further up. Because usually I would cut all of this. And now you can see. I would cut all of this. But now, you know, because he's a Bichon, I'm going to use all of that. There we go. All right, so I'm just going to get rid of all this hair in front of his eyes. And that's good because a lot of that hair was brown anyways, so it gets rid of the browning. Now you can see his eyes. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Okay. There we go. Okay. So now we got that eye. We're going to do the same thing with the other eye. The other side. All right. I almost cut too high. See, you don't want to go up here. You want to stay right here just in front of the eye. You can't really see it. There we go. So you want to just stay right here in front of the eye, and that's it. You don't want to go here up into here where the bridge of the nose is, you know, in between the eyes. Yeah, you don't want to cut any hair in between the eyes, just the hair in front of the eyes. Hopefully that makes sense. See, so now you can see that eye. I'm gonna get rid of some of this brown nasty hair right there. Okay. So now, there we go. So now you can see both eyes. Aren't their eyes so beautiful? Bichons have such beautiful eyes. Okay, so now you can see his eyes. There we go. All right, so now what I'm gonna do is do his visor next. So you wanna use curved shears for the visor to make that shape like that, like a circle around this eye, kind of. You know what, maybe if sorry, just bear with me for a moment here. I'm gonna see if I can shorten up these legs, put it on the top of this counter, and that way you might have a better angle. There we go. Sorry if anyone has motion sickness. There we go. So now that's up there. Okay, perfect. All right, so I'm gonna, usually you hold it like this, right? I'm gonna invert this way so that I can work on this angle here like that. See that? So, so we're gonna comb this forward, right? And not all of this, just the visor, just the hair that's gonna be over his eyes. Comb that forward, okay? And now I'm going to cut right into it, right to where his eye is. See that? And that's why all this hair here is necessary as well, because we're going to use that. So I'm just going to cut right over to it and then go down here and just kind of make it a nice little circle right above this eye. There we go. Good boy, PJ. And we're basically cutting like a window, like a little circle over that eye. Right? Get nice and round. Okay, so see that? This way. There you go. See that? So now you can kind of see that shape, right? That kind of V shape right there. There we go. See that? Now we're going to do it on the other side. So now I'm going to flip it back to the regular way, right? So hold it this way so I can do this other side. So again, I'm just going to comb the hair forward. Oh. Nice. Okay, that's the OCD in me. I can always clean that up later. I don't know why I did that. It's just while I see it, you know? It's like while I can see it, oh, I just want to clip it. Okay, anyways, same thing on this side. I'm just going to cut it right to where the eye is. Oh, there we go. Alrighty. See that? Isn't that looking nice? So you're cutting in this V pretty much. You're cutting a little V shape right above the eye, right between the eyes. At the top there. There we go. Same thing on this side. Alrighty. Alrighty. Okay. Now, what we could do is just comb it down one more time, see if we missed anything. All right. There we go. And we can always fine tune it later. There we go. So we got the top of the eye, the head, well, the visor at least. That Bichon visor set. There we go. So once I get the eyes, right? Once I get the eyes done, then I move over to the ears. Just like I do with most my dogs, you know, like most of the haircuts. Even if I was doing a Shih Tzu with the round teddy bear head, you know, I would still follow the same thing. I do the visor first, and then I do the ears, and then I you know, use the ears, the length of the ears I use that as my guide to do the jawline, the bottom, and then I round everything. So same thing. It's just different cuts basically. You know, because we're trying to achieve a different look. All right, so now that I got the visor set, I'm gonna comb everything up. And with the Bichon, you wanna treat the ears the same as the head, like it's a part of the head. You don't want the ears to stick out or be separated from the head in any way. You want it to be a part of the head and be a part of that round snowball, right? So, oh yeah, there we go. All right, so what I'm gonna do first is, see how he has his head down? That's perfect. So, and it might even be better if he stood up, right? And then puts his head down, because now I can see where I need to cut to blend that crest. I guess it doesn't make too big of a difference if he sits down. There we go. Oh, you know what? way so you can see what I'm doing. Alrighty. So I'm just cutting this big crest here into the shoulders and the back. Blending it into the neck. Right? And it kind of helps when they put their head down. And I think he put his head down because he thought I wanted his head up. So I'm going to ask him to put his head up. And I think that will help it. There we go. And he'll put his head down. Because PJ here is a little rascal. Sometimes, in order to get your way with PJ, you have to kind of outsmart him. You have to kind of do reverse psychology. And use the fact that he is a little rascal to our advantage, right? So once he caught on to the fact that I kind of wanted him to keep his head down for me, then he refused to put his head down. So then you just gotta kind of encourage him to keep his head up, right? And then he'll put his head down. Anyways. Okay. So blend that in nice. And now we're gonna round these ears. And I'll do this side first here so you can see. Alright, so you scissor that in. And then, see, I'm not even gonna lift the ear up or anything. I'm not even gonna touch the ear really. So now when I get to the ears, I'm literally just going to scissor it like it was part of the head. And make it nice and round. There we go. It's kind of looking a little lopsided, but that's okay. You can always trim, trim it down. You can't put hair back. So there we go. Bring this in a little bit more, bring it in nice and tight. There we go. So now that circle's coming in, starting to take its shape. See that? There we go. There we go. It's at different angles. You'll see different areas stick out. And that's why I'm like kind of moving around, trying to look at it from different angles so I can see what the shape is going to be like. Get different looks, There we go. All right, starting to come in nicely. There we go. All right. Okay. And you'll see once we get the head done, everything else is pretty easy. It's going to go by pretty quickly once we get the head done. But, just because we're getting down to the wire, right, or we're getting close to the finish line, it doesn't mean you want to rush, If anything, you want to take a deep breath and slow down a little bit, because again, this is a precision game, right? We're making very precise cuts. And one wrong move from the dog or yourself, and you could end up with a serious injury. You know, we don't want anyone to get injured, the dog or myself. So sometimes it is a little bit of a temptation. You know, you get excited because you're almost done with the groom, they're looking nice, so you just kind of speed up a little bit, and that's when accidents happen. You know, it's almost like when I got when I was driving home from Tennessee, I crashed my car like a mile away from my house, you know, because I was almost home. I let my guard down and I fell asleep at the wheel, you know. But yeah, it's like when you get close to the destination, you know, instead of lightening up and getting a little careless or rushing, you want to take a deep breath and focus. There we go. That way, all your efforts, you know, don't get wasted by a silly accident that could have been avoided. There we go. Make that mouth look nice and trimmed. There we go, nice and presentable. Okay. There we go. And now what I can do is comb his muzzle forward and trim up that hair around his mouth and his lips. There you go. Okay. And then what I can do is just to clean up that hair over the nose, get my thinning shears, comb this up a little bit, and then just clean that up right in front of the nose. There we go. There we are. Okay. There we go. With the thinners, I'm just kind of blending all of the uneven hairs in. And also their hair does have a slight curl to it. You know, their hair does tend to be a little wavy, not completely straight. So sometimes the hair kind of lays in funny ways. So thinning shears are going to be really good for just smoothing all of that out, making everything nice and even. There we go. Okay, so now this hair right here above the eyes, in front of the eyes, is like kind of long. So I'm gonna use my thinners to just grab that hair right above the eyes. There we go. Now I can see the eye. All right, this one too, same thing. So I can actually see the eye. There we go. So now I'm going to get my chunkers. So the difference is these are thinners. See how close those teeth are? And they thin it out. These are chunkers or blenders. So these are actually going to cut and make cut lines. So you want to treat this like scissors and be a little more careful. With these, you can kind of bounce in and out. See that? It's not going to make too much of a difference because you don't really see the lines, the cut lines. See that? But also it takes longer because you're cutting a little bit at a time. With this, you're going to save a lot of time, but you can't really bounce. See that? You gotta hold it still and control it the way you would control regular shears. Because these actually cut, like make cuts. There we go. Comb everything back up. Double check my work. There we go. Because when you comb everything up, you'll start to see uneven hairs just pop out at you. Okay. That way he stays nice and pretty for a while. I follow their mom's Instagram and sometimes she'll put stories on her Instagram with these two, with her boys, especially this one, just being the rascal that they are, and it just cracks me up. He's always getting into trouble. So it's my job to make him look as cute as possible to minimize the consequences, you know, of his actions. That way when he looks at his mom like this with those beautiful, cute eyes, look here, PJ, oh, and he does that little head tilt, he gets away with murder. He gets away with anything. So anyways, I like to believe that I have some part, some hand in him, you know, still having a nice home to live in, not getting kicked out of here. You know, hopefully I play some part in it, you know, because alrighty. He's always in timeout for something, or he's wearing the cone of shame for another thing. Oh man. But I think it's funny. I love dogs that have personality, you know. Okay. Blending all that in. And I know I said don't bounce, but you know, when you're trying to blend, sometimes you gotta bounce. Okay. There we go. Now I'm gonna blend in both sides of his crest here into the shoulders and into the back. There we go. Good boy. Good boy, PJ. There we go. All right, so now, I'm sorry. Oh no. Hold on one moment. Look at that. Isn't that so cute, PJ? With the head tilt. Aw, you're so cute, PJ. I see a little hair sticking out right there. Right there. It's okay. Okay, we'll nitpick after we finish your haircut. Let's go. Oh, shoot. Sorry. Oh, man. Okay. So, let me put this back down. And then we'll finish up the haircut. We'll do the legs and feet. And the legs and feet actually are pretty easy. Okay. Oh, man, I need a new stand. Okay, it's all right. There we go. Delicately. Oh my God, I'm pretty sure I need that piece. A little piece fell. I'm not sure. Look at that. I'm pretty sure I need this piece. Just fell. What is that? What is that too? I don't know. I don't know, PJ. All right, anyways. Okay, so let me plug this back in. There we go. Okay, there we go. All right, PJ. Sorry about that. Okay, so, oh, look at that. I can kind of see. There we go. Make that a little bit more round and short so we can actually see his eyes. There we go. There we go. Okay. There we go. Okay. Alrighty, so now let's go ahead and do the legs and feet. Look at that nice, beautiful round head. OMG, PJ. OMG, PJ, you're so cute. Okay, while you're right there, let me go ahead and get that. There we go. There we go. You want to get right up to those eyes sometimes because that hair tends to cover it up. There we go. We're trying to bring out those big, beautiful black eyes that Bichons have. There you go. Look at the camera, buddy. Oh, wow. Wow. Okay. So now let's do the legs and feet. Let me put that away. All right. So I like to get the hair out of the way so I can actually see where I need to trim. So just comb everything down. And then I like to lift the foot up and scissor the bottom first, right? Even though we did shave the bottom before the bath, like you'll see there, so you see some hairs that stick out after the bath, and you dry them up. There we go. That way I can get the bottom of the foot really nice and tight and clean. Okay, and then put the foot down, and then just scissor the foot nice and round. Give it a nice round shape. I'll show you how to do that. You want to have your curve shears, right? Like that, so you can kind of bevel the bottom. And with Bichons, the breed standard is you want the legs and feet to look like columns, right? And you don't want the feet beveled like a Cocker Spaniel. But I've noticed that in pet trims with pet dogs, it just helps keep their feet nice and clean longer. Sorry, see some hairs again. And that way, you know, you don't have all those mats and tangles on the bottom of their feet the next time you come to groom them. So that's why I know it's not breed standard. And if I was in a competition, you know, I wouldn't do this. But for your pet Bichons, for your pet dogs, I found that it just helps keep the feet cleaner for longer. And, you know, I don't know, I kind of like the nice round beveled look. Looks like teddy bear feet, you know, I like that. So in a pet, like a show trim, if you're competing or showing the dog, you wouldn't want to trim back here either. You want to leave all of that so you can make it look like a flat column that they're standing on. But if you want to make a beveled foot, you want it nice and clean, you do trim back there. See that? So now I just trim it around. we go. Okay. There we are. Okay, so that's one foot, right? Now we're gonna do the back foot. Sorry, I just see. Okay, there we go. Just forget it. I'll go back to it. Oh, nice. It's just while I see it, you know, when I get that angle, I'm like, oh shoot, I see. There we go. Okay. All right. Now we're gonna do this back foot. Same thing. Usually, if it was a breed standard, you know, the angles of the rear leg would make it look like it's going this way, and then straight down, 90-degree angle, straight down like that, and it would be trimmed into a column. But again, since we're beveling the feet to get it nice and close to the toes, I'm gonna clean up the bottom, nice and tight. Okay, and then make it nice and round. Okay. Okay. There we go. Just clean up and tidy inside there. There we go. Get nice and smooth. There we go. And then back here is a little tricky as well. So when I do the back end, I'm gonna hold this tail out the way. There we go. I'll hold that tail out the way and then go here and just trim everything nice and neat. Smooth everything out so there's nothing that sticks out too much. All right? Let me show you. See? So it looks nice and neat, right? And you have that band there. There we go. So they have some angulation, right? So you can see the natural angles of his body, of his leg. There we go. So there's that foot. So now you can see on this side, both those feet are nice and round, right? And even though we didn't trim much, look at the difference. See? These still look okay, but just not as neat, right? Not as neat as the other side. So, same thing on this side. Okay. Just trying to get it as close, tight as possible. for some reason the hair is curled in a way. There we go. Okay. Oh wow. There we go. Okay. Okay. Trying to get a good angle at it here. There we go. Because you have to see what you're cutting, you know. Sometimes that's the tricky part, is trying to figure out where to stand and look so that you can actually see where you're cutting. Okay. Okay, I gotta stop messing with that. Finish up the legs. Okay. Unevenness right there, but it's okay. So I'm gonna see if I can get them to step forward just a little. There we go. Okay. There we go. There you go. Alrighty, so that front leg is good. And I can always go through with thinners and soften it up, which is what I'm gonna do. I mean, I always end it with the thinners to just soften up, make it nice and soft and round so you can't see the scissor lines or anything. There we go. Okay. There we go. So let's do that one last foot. All right. There we go. Nice. Okay. So we have this one last foot to do. And it's the same thing we did on the other side. Now that he's switched sides, let me move this. Oh no. Okay. There we go. Okay. So, there we are. Okay. So the way you hold the scissors is really important, and it's going to give you a lot more confidence in your scissoring techniques, in your scissoring ability, when you hold it properly. So you see how I'm holding it? Barely have my thumb in the thumb hole, right? And I'm resting it on my, and so this is actually the right way to hold it with the swivel. So see that? I'm holding it like that. And that's why when I go through and I'm cutting like this. See that? And that gives me more control over my cut. See that? So, because when I first learned how to groom, or I would first learn how to use scissors on a dog, it was actually part of the prep work that I was learning. They would want me to scissor like golden retrievers' feet or cavaliers, their ears and things like that. I was taught to hold it like this, you know, like with your thumb in there. But then this actually kind of gets a little bit, you know, and it's hard to hold. But when you switch it to that and you tuck it in, now you have complete control over it. See that? So then you can literally cut exactly what you want to cut. You don't have to worry about your scissors bouncing, you know, or making dips or divots, you know, making accidental dents in the coat. You don't have to worry about all that because it's nice and secure. You know, it's laying flat on your hand. So, I should just comb out my hand. All right. There we go. Tidy up right here. See, and that's why I didn't really need to make a big deal out of it when I couldn't really get this hair with the clippers, because I'm going to go through with the scissors anyways, and it's much easier just to snip it off with the scissors. There we go. Clean up that underside here. All right. So now, there we go. There we go. There we go. Okay. Sorry about that. Shoot, just looking at his ass. I mean, it is a fine ass to look at, but look at you. Look at that. You looking at my ass? Yeah, we're looking at your ass, PJ. All right. So here, oh my goodness, see that? See how the hair's covering the eye again? So that's what I'm gonna do now, is just go through with the thinners and just make sure everything looks nice and even. See right here, there's a little hair sticking out right there. There we go. And here, this is really bothering me, so I'm gonna go through and scissor that up. There we go. Because we're trying to make like a circle almost, right here in front of the eyes. Okay, can you see it better? Let me see. Okay, it's still covering it a little bit, but it's just the way his hair lays, really. Let me see if I can. There we go. Okay. There we go. There we go. Much better. It's weird how that hair just covers that eye like that. Okay. Okay, I wonder if that looks better. Does that look better? Yes, it does. Awesome. Okay. I'm going to want to make sure that that hair in the middle of the eyes is still there. There we go. There we go. All right. Oh, 1 second. I see some hair sticking out there and under the ear. There we go. Okay. And now I'm just going to go through the legs and the feet just to make sure that's all even. There we go. There we go. I want to make sure it's even inside there as well. All right. Okay. Get these sticky outies here. Get the base of the tail here. Make sure it's nice and clean and tight and even. Okay. There we go. Okay. Nice. You know, and I know some people might say like, but you're nitpicking, you know, like it's fine, it's done. Yeah, I mean, you know, this would pass for a pet groom, right? And I'd still be happy with it, but I don't know, just knowing that I could have done better, but I didn't, that bugs me. That tends to bug me when I go home. I start thinking about the groom and the work that I did. I'm like, ah, man, but I held back. I could have done a little bit more, you know, to make it really pop, but I didn't, you know. So for me, I don't know. I've always kind of just had this attitude, like if I'm gonna do it anyways, no matter what it is, if I'm gonna do it anyways, you know, might as well really do it, right? Might as well put in some effort, do it with style, right? And do a job that I'm really proud of. If I'm gonna do it anyways, right? Because I always feel like if I'm gonna complain about something, I don't really want to do it, then why do it, you know? So I tell myself, if I'm gonna do something anyways, might as well go all out, you know? All right. There we go. And now, what I like to do is take the towel off for the finish. That way I can kind of see exactly how it's going to look. Right? And then, what I do for the very last part is with the thinners. Kind of thin around the foot, around the nails. And make it nice and soft. Like here, it's looking a little rough. So we'll soften up those edges. Give it a nice soft look. Okay. Tail looks nice. Okay. This side. That's why when I was watching the videos on YouTube about how to make a longbow, there are lots of good videos actually on how to make your own longbow out of, just Osage wood or red oak. There's even some videos of how to make a longbow out of PVC pipe. But anyways, I love watching those videos, and I'm excited for my next project, make my own longbow. Because yeah, it's time consuming. A lot of it is. You're sanding it down little by little, testing it, then resanding it in some areas. It's just tedious, but it's the only way. They call it tillering, the tillering process at the very end. When you're ready to string the bow and you're trying to get it to the right draw weight and everything. Anyways, once they get to the bow shaped and to the point where they can string the bow, then they put it on this tillering tree, and basically it's just a jack, like a stand that they put the bow on, and they stretch it out. They pull it down using a series of pulleys and levers, and you're trying to find the weak spots or the areas where it's not bending as much as you need it to. So then you take it back down. You sand those areas a little bit, put it back up, test it again, sand a little more. And it's just that process. It's tedious, it's repetitive, but it's so honest. And you have to do it if you want to get a good bow. And I just like, wow, I love the comparison. I love the parallels to grooming a dog. Because yeah, sometimes it is just time consuming, and you just feel like you're whittling away a little bit at a time. But it's honest work, because even though you're taking just a little bit off here and there, just like the arrow or the bow, even just taking a little bit off in certain areas is going to make a huge difference, in the overall quality, the finished quality. So just like sanding a little bit off these few areas on the arrow, just like that is going to play a big part in the overall quality of the bow. Sanding away, chiseling away, just little parts, little pieces of hair like that is going to play a big part in the overall quality of the finished haircut. See that? Awesome. All right. So let me give you a quick walk around of the finished haircut. Oh, PJ, you look so nice. Oh my God, with the head tilt and the smile. I'm so proud of you, buddy. Look at that nice round head, nice round feet, right, buddy? You want to stand? Show people your profile? There you go. There you go. So even though this kind of looks big, it's still, I could probably trim it down a little bit, but it's not that bad, right? Maybe right there I can trim it a little bit. But wow, he's looking so nice. You're looking so nice, buddy. Wow. All right. Dog, that is the cutest dog paw ever. Wow, thank you, chickens don't serve. All right, are you using thinishers? No, so I use thinners around just around the base. I use the chunkers, the blenders, just to smooth everything out. Let's see. Okay, perfect. Uh, right. Okay. Wow, this is name. Okay. Wow, Dolores was watching. June, that dog is so in tune with you. He's going to be honest. Oh, nice. Thank you. You're ridiculously cute. Okay, awesome. So that is the finished work here. Oh, sorry. Awesome. Oh, you're welcome, Chickens Don't Serve. She was my pleasure. I was gonna do this anyways, you know. Shoot, I'm glad you guys watched it. Hopefully it was, hopefully it was helpful. Hopefully I shared some tips that help you out a little bit in your grooms. Or if anything, maybe just to show you like, how OCD you could really take it, right? There we go. Just take it down a little bit because it just feels like it's a little much. There we go. There we go. So watching the bow making video really did remind me of, how I groom dogs. Because it's just kind of stepping back and looking at the dog and then seeing some areas where it kind of doesn't, it feels like it's off, where you can take a little bit more hair off. And then you take a little bit more hair off, then you comb it out, stand back, take another look, right? There we go. And that's why I do consider dog grooming such honest work. Just like making a bow, just like archery. Here we go. I love it because it's not like other jobs where, it's marketing and sales heavy. You can market and promise all these things and sell a product or a service, and people aren't even that disappointed sometimes when it doesn't deliver, how they promised. And it's just so much dishonesty going on out there, so much false marketing and advertising but with dog grooming, it's just honest, You can either do it or you can't. And if you can't, blaming it on other things, it works for a while. But then after a while, people are going to start thinking to themselves, can you ever deliver on your promise? So, and like Magic Johnson says, I went to a keynote speech by Magic Johnson one time, and he was talking about how he over delivers. He always over delivers. That's how he played the game of basketball. That's how he approaches his business. He always wants to over deliver on his promise. And I thought that was so key, You don't want to just be able to deliver on your promise, but over deliver, You want to really be able to do your best. Do more than what you're paid for, right? Give more in use value than you take in payment, because that is making an investment in your own future. And that was Jim Rohn that said that. I wish I could take credit for that. Alrighty, but there we go. Nice, PJ. Good boy. You're all done. Such a good boy. All right. Oh, sorry. Oh my God, you're just so cute. PJ, yes, you're so cute. So beautiful. Good job, buddy. Awesome. Let me let him down and get his brother. See you guys. Oh.